I'm going to add a block, and the first block could be maybe, let's just say some text. We're going to have some text in the middle, or actually a heading. We're going to say heading. We'll add a heading in there. And then below that, we can add, so if we just hover, we can add a new block and add an image. And you know what, maybe for this image, it's going to be our logo. So we'll select an image. We're going to go with Dry Creek Jerky Co. So we have a heading right there. Maybe below that, we want to have some more text. Let's start with the heading though. All right, so it looks like my screen recording just cut out for a second there, but all I did was add some text right here. And what I want to do is add an image to the background. Now, bear with me on this one. I know what this is going to look like. I want to show you a really cool and impressive feature in just 1 second. So adding an image, you can see background media. So looking at the home section, background media, we can say image. Now I have an image that I uploaded, you can see right there, and we have an overlay on top. So background overlay kind of makes it a little more blue, kind of brings out the sky a little bit more. And this isn't a great layout now because I want to add something to the bottom, which is going to stretch this image out. So if I click on back, you can see under home section, we can click on plus for add block, and I want to generate a block. Now this is the coolest, in my opinion, brand new tool that Shopify is bringing us. And this is the ability to make basically anything you want. This is where you really get to that next level of making a professional website that would otherwise require a team of developers to make. So for example, I could type in I want a carousel of like one product, and then it switches to another product and has 2 total products. I want something to just kind of cycle between 2 different products every 10 seconds. I hit go. Granted, it takes about a minute or so to actually generate this, but wait till you see what this comes up with. So you can see, by the way, in the meantime, all this code on the left side just being generated. It's really impressive that it's actually writing all of this. And like I said, just wait till you see what this comes up with. It's worked every single time for all these different styles. So impressive. All right, this is it. This is pretty much exactly what I was looking for. So I'm going to click on select product. By the way, it just made that whole thing on the left side. So I'm able to customize it over on the left side here. But let's add a product. So we're going to select the first product here, and then we'll select the second product, which is fairly similar. And like, man, look at that. It just made that out of nothing. Like, look at that. I think that looks awesome. So it shows, first of all, that pushed all of our text up higher. And then down right here, like, I think that is such a cool thing that otherwise would have cost you a lot of money to have developers actually build out something like this for you and create the code. And you can see it's doing exactly what I said, swapping every 10 seconds. And we can change the autoplay interval right here. It made that as a variable we can adjust. We can change the background appearance, but I chose like kind of a glassy white translucent, which again, I think looks really good. Not to say this is a great looking website right now. I'm not sure I really like that background. If this was my own real brand, I would have different images and I would have more product images as well. And I would also have my own font up top, but just kind of showing you guys the tools we have available. That's one example of that. Let's use it down here to do something else as well. I want to go and so let's click on back, and just a couple more items I'm going to add to make this look a little bit better, right? So right here, we've got all of our products, but I don't really like that layout. So as you guys know, we can hover over in the middle, we can add a section, we can create a custom section, and then in that custom section, which by the way, you have to access over here, we can name the custom section. So this is going to get really confusing if we don't start naming our sections, but you can see custom section right there. Add a block. We're going to generate a block. And let's say for this one, all right, so I wanted to make a little like multi-item, essentially a bunch of columns here, and you can see it did that. And it's actually giving us the option to add follow-up instructions. We can choose how many there are on desktop or on mobile. We can choose the card style, and then for each one, we should be able to customize what the products actually are, as you see down in the bottom here. So let's select these products. We're going to have this one. Maybe I'll just use the same one in all of them just to kind of demonstrate, because I don't have 6 products here. But actually on the bottom, let's see if we can go with a wider image. Do that one again, and we'll do that one. And in the prompt, I asked it to give a little animation when you hover over them, as you can see right here, which I think kind of just makes them pop out a little bit more. So they have like a shimmer effect that goes on. We can get rid of the shimmer if we don't like that, but they also move a little bit. I just think it's kind of a cool way to interact with your store and see what your products are. So maybe for these, we would have like different flavors for all of them. If I just made them all different products, that's a good way to do that. For each one, I added a star rating, but you can see it kind of just like I don't have a star rating in there, so it just made it up right now and said 4 stars, 120 reviews. But I think this looks a whole lot better than this down here, which is just a collection. So because of that, I'm going to hover over product catalog or click on product catalog, and I'm just going to remove that section. I just really don't think we need that section right there. Now, this is more than I would probably normally add. Like, we don't have this many products, but hey, I think this still looks pretty good. By the way, at any point, like you should be doing this often. I haven't done this yet. We should click on save in the top right. And when we do that, it's just going to make sure we're all backed up. We're ready to go.